English learners. Welcome to another great lesson with English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
So, Erica, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty well. And I think we've got a good lesson today, a really helpful lesson.
What are we talking about today?
We have an elementary lesson about making an appointment.
All right, making an appointment. Yeah, that's really helpful. I guess you have to make appointments for the doctor or...
At work, maybe? Or with your friends.
Yeah.
So this is language that you can use every day to make appointments.
Great. Well, so why don't we take a look at our vocabulary preview?
Vocabulary preview.
We only have one word today, which you need to know to understand this dialogue, and it is financial advisor.
Financial advisor.
Financial advisor.
So, what is a financial advisor?
A financial advisor is a person who gives suggestions or recommendations about investing money. Someone who wants you to put money in the stock market.
Okay, great. I guess we're ready now to listen to our dialogue for the first time. And as always, it's going to be at a normal speed, but you don't have to worry about it because...
we'll come back and teach you all the important words.
Hello, Fairbrook Consulting. How may I help you?
Yes, this is Julianne Horton, and I'm calling to arrange an appointment with Miss McNeely.
Certainly. What day were you thinking of?
How's Thursday? Does she have any time available then?
Let me double check. Unfortunately, she's booked solid on Thursday. How does next Monday work for you?
Actually, I've got something scheduled on Monday. Can she do Tuesday?
Sure, Tuesday's perfect. May I ask where you're calling from?
Sure, Merton Financial Advisors.
Oh. Actually, Tuesday's no good. Sorry about that.
Well, I guess Ms. McNeely does not want to speak to any financial advisors.
Yeah, I guess she doesn't really want to invest in the stock market, huh?
Or maybe she just gets too many phone calls from them.
Yeah. If you have money, I guess you'll get phone calls from people like that.
I guess we don't have that problem, hey?
No, we don't. Okay, let's start with our language takeaway for today.
Language takeaway.
So 4 words today. The first one is available.
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 Meaning
that you are not busy.
that you're free.
You're free. You're not busy.
Exactly. Let's move to our next word. Double check.
Double check.
Double check.
Double check.
I think we've got some examples of this phrase.
Example 1.
Do you have the tickets?
I think so, but let me just double check.
Example 2.
I thought I sent that email already, but let me double check.
Okay, so double check basically means to check something twice.
Exactly, to check it again.
Check it again. Okay. Our third word for language takeaway today is scheduled.
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 Scheduled. So when you have something scheduled, it means that you have something
Planned.
planned, right?
Yeah, or booked at that time.
Booked at that time.
Yeah, we've got a lunch scheduled this afternoon, don't we?
Yes, we do.
All
a
right.
great lunch. Looking forward to it. And our last word for today is booked solid.
Booked solid.
Booked solid.
Booked. Booked solid.
So we have some great examples on how you can use this great phrase booked solid and you can understand what it means.
Example 1.
I can't get a hotel room. They're booked solid until after the new year.
Example 2.
I'm sorry, there are no seats available on these flights. We booked solid over the Christmas holidays.
Example 3.
Sorry, I can't meet with you today. I'm booked solid.
Okay, great. So booked solid basically is?
You have no free time, no available time.
Right.
So you've got appointments scheduled all day.
All day. Great. So with this in mind, now we can listen to our dialogue a second time. This time it's going to be slow so we can
Understand a little bit better.
Hello? Fairbrook Consulting. How may I help you?
Yes, this is Julianne Horton, and I'm calling to arrange an appointment with Ms. McNeely.
Certainly. What date were you thinking of?
How's Thursday? Does she have any time available then?
Let me double check. No. Unfortunately, she's booked solid on Thursday. How does next Monday work for you?
Actually, I've got something scheduled on Monday. Can she do Tuesday?
Sure. Tuesday's perfect. May I ask where you're calling from?
Sure. Merton Financial Advisors.
Oh. Actually, Tuesday's no good. Sorry about that.
Okay, so now it's a little bit more clear, and with this, we can start with putting it together.
Putting it together.
There's some great examples in this dialogue of phrases you can use when you need to schedule an appointment. And we're going to look at those today. In the dialogue, we heard Julianne ask about making an appointment, and she said this.
I'm calling to arrange an appointment with Ms. McNeely. I'm calling to arrange an appointment with Ms. McNeely.
So this is a great way to schedule an appointment, to ask for some time from somebody else.
Yeah, and we have some more examples of this phrase.
Example 1.
Please book an appointment for next week.
Example 2.
Please schedule an appointment for next week.
Great. So after that, when you're scheduling an appointment, you need to suggest a day when maybe that person has time.
Yes, let's listen to what they said in the dialogue.
How's Thursday? Does she have any time available then? How's Thursday? Does she have any time available then?
You say, well, how's Thursday or how's Tuesday? And maybe that person doesn't have time that day, so they'll say something like this.
Can she do Tuesday? Can she do Tuesday?
Okay, Erica, so if I want to have a meeting with you, I would say, how's Monday sound? Or how's Monday?
Monday's no good. I'm
how's-
busy all day.
How's Tuesday?
Sorry, Tuesday's no good either.
What about Wednesday?
Okay, Wednesday works.
All right, great.
Wednesday's perfect.
Okay, it's great. So we have a meeting on Wednesday.
Okay, yeah, those are some great phrases, hey, for scheduling an appointment.
Yeah, they're really good. Okay, so now we can listen to our dialogue a third time and we're ready to understand everything that we've just talked about.
Hello, and welcome to the English Podcast Zone, your space to improve your English in real, practical ways. I'm excited you're here today because we have a very useful topic that you'll need in many everyday situations: how to make an appointment. Think about it. Whether you're calling a doctor's office, a hair salon, a financial advisor, or even arranging a meeting with a friend or colleague, knowing how to confidently ask for an appointment in English is an important skill. Let's begin by talking about what an appointment actually is. An appointment is an arrangement to meet someone at a particular time and place. It's usually for something important like a business meeting, a visit to the dentist, or a catch-up with a friend. In English, we don't just say, "I want to meet you." It's much more polite and natural to ask if someone is available, then suggest a day and time. For example, a good way to start would be by saying, "I'd like to arrange an appointment, please." Or you could say, "Could I book a time to meet with you?" These phrases sound polite and professional. Now, let's focus on a useful word you'll often hear when making an appointment: available. If someone is available, it means they are free and not busy at that time. You might hear a receptionist say, "Let me check if she's available on Thursday." Or you could ask, "Do you have any times available this afternoon?" This is a polite and natural way to ask if someone is free to meet you. It's important to also know how to suggest a day and time for your appointment. You can ask, how about Monday at 2 p.m.? Or would Wednesday morning work for you? Notice how we use polite question forms like how about and would it work for you? This makes your request sound friendly and professional. Another helpful phrase is double check. This means to check something again just to be sure. For example, a receptionist might say, I'll double check her schedule and get back to you. Or you might say, let me double check my calendar before confirming the appointment. It's a small but very natural expression that native speakers use all the time. As we continue, I'll introduce more helpful phrases and expressions for making appointments in English. Remember, it's not just about the words you use, but how politely and naturally you say them. Being polite in English is very important, especially when speaking to people you don't know well. When you're trying to make an appointment, sometimes the day or time you prefer isn't available. This happens often in real life, so it's important to know how to respond politely and smoothly. In English, we usually use expressions like, oh, that's no problem, or okay, is there another time available? This keeps the conversation friendly and professional. For example, imagine you call a doctor's office and say, I'd like to book an appointment for Thursday afternoon. If the receptionist replies, I'm sorry, we're fully booked on Thursday, you need to know how to answer. A polite way is to say, okay, could you tell me what other times you have available? Or could I book for another day instead? Now, let's learn a very useful phrase, booked solid. This means there's no free time left in the schedule. You might hear someone say, she's booked solid on Thursday. This is a natural and common way to explain that someone has appointments all day and no time to add anything else. When this happens, you need to be ready with another suggestion. Use phrases like, how about Friday morning? Or is Monday afternoon a good option? Notice how we use how about and is it a good option? These are polite and flexible ways to suggest another time. Another helpful phrase is does that work for you? After suggesting a time, it's good to check if the other person agrees. For example, I'm available at 3 p.m. on Tuesday. Does that work for you? This is a polite way to ask if the time is convenient for them. In real situations, you can also say, would that be okay? Or would that suit you? These are slightly more formal but still very natural in spoken English. Let's quickly practice these phrases together. I'd like to make an appointment for Friday afternoon. I'm sorry, we're booked solid on Friday. Oh, okay. Could you let me know what times you have available? See how polite and easy that sounds? Being polite and flexible with your suggestions makes conversations smoother, and people will appreciate your good manners. After you've suggested a time and found an appointment slot that works, it's important to know how to confirm the appointment politely and clearly. In English, this is usually done with simple, natural phrases like, great, that works for me, or perfect, I'll see you then. It shows that you agree with the time and you're ready to mark it in your calendar. For example, if someone says, we can meet on Tuesday at 3 p.m., you can respond with, perfect, Tuesday at 3 p.m. works for me. It's always a good idea to repeat the date and time out loud to make sure both people are clear and avoid mistakes. You might say, just to confirm, that's Tuesday at 3 p.m., right? This is polite and very professional. Now, sometimes after booking an appointment, something unexpected comes up and you need to reschedule. In English, it's important to do this politely because you're changing a plan that was already made. You can say, I'm sorry, but I need to reschedule our appointment. Or, would it be possible to move our meeting to another day? These are respectful ways to change an appointment without sounding rude. Another useful phrase is I've got something scheduled. This means you already have another appointment or plan at that time. For example, I'd love to meet at 2 p.m., but I've got something scheduled then. Could we meet at 4 instead? It's polite to explain briefly that you're busy and then offer another option. Let's add one more helpful expression here, no good. This is an informal way to say that a time or day doesn't work for you. For example, Thursday's no good for me. How about Friday? It's a casual and common way to quickly explain that you're unavailable. You see, these phrases make your conversations sound smooth and natural. They help avoid confusion and show good communication skills. Remember, in English-speaking culture, it's polite to be clear, flexible, and respectful when making or changing appointments. Once you've agreed on a time for your appointment, the next important step is to confirm where the appointment will take place. This is a detail many English learners forget to ask, but it's a simple and essential part of good communication. In English, you can ask this naturally by saying, "Could you please confirm the location?" or "Where will we be meeting?" If it's at an office or a clinic, you might also need to check the exact address. You could politely ask, "May I have the address, please?" Or, "Could you text or email me the location details?" These polite requests show that you're organized and serious about keeping the appointment. Now, in today's world, many appointments happen online through apps like Zoom, Google Meet, or Microsoft Teams. So, it's important to ask for the meeting link if your appointment isn't face-to-face. You could say, "Will this meeting be online or in person?" Or, "Could you please send me the meeting link?" This helps avoid confusion and ensures you're ready for the appointment, wherever it happens. Another helpful phrase is, "May I ask where you're calling from?" You might hear this when you're making an appointment over the phone. It's a polite way for the person on the other end to know who you are or which company you represent. For example, "This is Amanda from Global Financial Services." It's clear, professional, and polite. Let's review a little example you might hear during a phone call. "Good afternoon. This is Jennifer at Green Valley Clinic. How can I help you?" "Hi, I'd like to book an appointment with Dr. Adams." "Sure. May I have your name, please?" "Yes, this is Michael Lewis." "Thank you, Mr. Lewis. May I ask where you're calling from?" Even if you're calling as an individual, not a business, it's polite to answer with your location or reason. You could say, "I'm calling from downtown," or "I'm calling about a follow-up appointment." Knowing how to confirm both the time and the place makes your communication much smoother and avoids last-minute problems. Being clear and polite is always appreciated in English-speaking situations. When you're trying to set up an appointment, one of the most useful skills you can develop is knowing how to ask about someone's availability politely and offer several options. In English, we rarely demand a specific time. Instead, we ask in a friendly, flexible way, using phrases like, "Are you available on?" or "Would you happen to have any time on?" For example, you might say, "Are you available this Thursday afternoon?" Or "Would Tuesday morning work for you?" Notice how both of these phrases sound polite and allow the other person to easily say yes or no. If you want to offer several options, it's natural to say something like, "I'm free on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. Do any of those work for you?" Offering multiple options is a thoughtful way to schedule an appointment because it shows you're being considerate of the other person's time. Another useful phrase to remember is, "Does that work for you?" This is a friendly way to check if the time you suggested is okay. For example, "I'm available at 2 p.m. on Friday. Does that work for you?" You could also say, "Would that be okay?" or "Would that suit you?" Both of these are polite and very natural in spoken English. Now, if the other person says they're unavailable at the time you suggested, you'll need to be ready with another suggestion. You could say, "No problem. How about later in the day?" Or, "Would another day be better?" This shows flexibility and makes scheduling smoother. It's also helpful to use expressions like "what about?" or "how's?" when offering different times. For example, "What about Wednesday afternoon?" or "How's Thursday morning?" These simple, casual phrases make you sound friendly and easy to work with. And don't forget, in English-speaking culture, being polite and respectful of other people's time is very important. Even if you're in a hurry, it's always better to politely ask for availability and offer options than to demand a specific time. After setting an appointment, it's always a smart idea to confirm the details before the day arrives. This is a polite and professional habit in English-speaking countries. Confirming means you check the information again, the time, the date, and the location, to be sure nothing has changed and you haven't made a mistake. A very useful phrase for this is double check. You might say, "I just wanted to double check our appointment for tomorrow." Or, "Could I double check the time and place for our meeting?" This shows you're organized and serious about keeping your appointment. If you're speaking to someone on the phone or replying to an email, you can politely repeat the details back to them. For example, so, just to confirm, we're meeting on Thursday at 3 p.m. at your office on Main Street, correct? This is a clear and polite way to make sure both of you have the same information. You can also use phrases like, just to be sure, or let me confirm. These are casual, friendly ways to double check without sounding too formal. For example, just to be sure, our meeting is at 10 a.m. on Monday, right? Sometimes, people might forget or mix up details, so confirming ahead of time helps avoid last-minute problems. It's especially important for appointments made a week or more in advance. Also, if your appointment involves travel or meeting online, it's polite to confirm the address or the meeting link as well. You could say, could you please confirm the Zoom link for our meeting? Or can I double-check your office address before I come over? And here's a helpful cultural tip. In English-speaking countries, confirming details is seen as thoughtful and responsible, not annoying. People appreciate it because it shows you care about being punctual and respectful of their time. In real life, plans don't always go the way we expect. Sometimes you might need to cancel or reschedule an appointment, and it's important to do this politely and clearly in English. People will appreciate your good manners if you handle the situation with care. If you need to cancel an appointment, a polite and common way to begin is by saying, I'm sorry, but I won't be able to make our appointment. You could also say, unfortunately, I have to cancel our meeting. It's a good idea to give a brief reason, but it's not always necessary. For example, I'm sorry, something urgent has come up. Or I'm not feeling well and need to cancel. If you can't make the appointment but still want to meet at another time, it's better to reschedule rather than cancel completely. A polite way to do this is to say, would it be possible to reschedule our appointment? Or could we move our meeting to another day? This shows that you value the other person's time and still want to meet. You can also suggest a new time politely. For example, would Tuesday afternoon work for you instead? Or, I'm available on Friday morning. Does that suit you? Always use polite question forms like would and does to keep the tone friendly and professional. If you're on the receiving end, meaning someone else cancels on you, a polite and natural way to respond is by saying, no problem. Let's find another time. Or, I completely understand. Just let me know when you're available. Being flexible and kind in these situations makes a good impression and keeps the relationship positive. Here's a quick example. Hi, I'm sorry to call on short notice, but I have to reschedule our meeting this afternoon. No problem. Would you like to book another time now? Yes. Could we move it to tomorrow morning? Sure. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. works for me. See how natural and polite that sounds? Practicing these phrases will help you handle schedule changes easily in both work and personal situations. Sometimes, you'll be invited to an appointment or meeting at a time that simply doesn't work for you. In these situations, it's important to know how to politely refuse a suggested time and offer a better one without sounding rude or uncooperative. In English, it's all about using the right tone and polite expressions. A common, friendly way to refuse a time is by saying, I'm afraid that doesn't work for me. Or you might say, I'm sorry, I'm not available at that time. These phrases are polite and show respect for the other person's offer. If you want to suggest a different time, it's always nice to follow up right away with an alternative. For example, I'm afraid Monday afternoon isn't good for me. Would Tuesday morning be possible? Or, I won't be free at 3 p.m., but how about 4:30? Notice how we use how about or would be possible to politely suggest another option. Another casual and natural way to refuse a time is by using the phrase no good. For example, Friday's no good for me. Could we meet earlier in the week? This is informal but friendly and very common in spoken English. It's also helpful to explain why you're not available, especially if it's for a good reason. You could say, I've got something scheduled at that time, or I have a prior commitment. This adds a polite explanation and makes the refusal sound softer. Let's look at a quick example. Can you meet at 11 a.m. on Thursday? I'm sorry. Thursday morning's no good for me. Would the afternoon work instead? See how easy and polite that sounds? You're refusing, but in a way that keeps the conversation positive and productive. Remember, in English-speaking culture, it's always appreciated when you're honest about your availability while being considerate of the other person's schedule. Offering alternatives helps keep communication smooth and friendly. When you're making an appointment, it's not only important to confirm the time and place, you should also clearly confirm the purpose of the appointment. This helps avoid misunderstandings and makes sure both people are prepared for the meeting. In English, we often politely ask or confirm by saying something like, "Could you confirm what the meeting will be about?" Or, "Just to be clear, this appointment is to discuss my insurance policy, correct?" If you're the one making the appointment, it's polite to mention the reason yourself. For example, "I'd like to book an appointment with Dr. Lee for a dental checkup." Or, "I'm calling to schedule a meeting to review my financial plan." This gives the other person helpful information so they can prepare for your visit. In casual situations, like meeting a friend or colleague, you can say, "Let's meet to catch up over coffee." Or, "I was hoping we could meet to discuss the new project." These small phrases help set clear expectations for the meeting. When making phone calls or booking online, you might be asked, "What's the appointment regarding?" Or, "May I ask what this is in reference to?" It's polite to answer briefly. For example, "It's about my annual checkup," or "I'd like to open a new account." If you're scheduling multiple appointments or a meeting that includes other people, it's good to clarify who will be attending. You might ask, "Will anyone else be joining us?" Or mention, "I'll be bringing my colleague along." These small confirmations help everything go smoothly. And one final tip, if the meeting might take longer than usual, or if you have limited time, it's polite to mention it in advance. You could say, "I'll only have about 30 minutes available," or "Will 1 hour be enough for this meeting?" This kind of polite honesty is appreciated and helps people plan better. As you finish arranging an appointment, it's always a good idea to thank the person for their time and assistance. In English-speaking culture, showing appreciation at the end of a scheduling conversation leaves a positive, professional impression. Simple phrases like, "Thank you for helping me set this up," or "I appreciate you finding a time for me," are polite and natural. Another useful expression is "Thanks for confirming everything," or "Thank you for your time today." These small, kind phrases help build good relationships, whether you're speaking to a receptionist, a business partner, or a friend. Before ending the conversation, it's helpful to confirm your understanding one last time. You might say, "So, I'll see you on Thursday at 2 p.m. at your office, right?" Or, "Just to confirm, we're meeting tomorrow on Zoom at 11 a.m. This habit prevents mistakes and shows you're organized and respectful of both people's schedules. If the person you're speaking to is especially helpful, you could also say, "Thank you for being so helpful," or "I really appreciate your assistance." These natural, polite comments are simple but powerful in keeping conversations friendly and professional. And here's one final tip. It's polite to express that you're looking forward to the meeting. You might say, "I look forward to our meeting," or "See you then." It's a small touch that keeps your conversation warm and positive. So now, you've learned how to ask for an appointment, offer and refuse times politely, confirm details, reschedule when necessary, and finish the conversation in a professional, friendly way. These skills will help you in both your personal life and your professional work when speaking English. Thank you for being a part of the English Podcast Zone.
Hello, Fairbrook Consulting. How may I help you?
Yes, this is Julianne Horton, and I'm calling to arrange an appointment with Miss McNeely.
Certainly. What day were you thinking of?
How's Thursday? Does she have any time available then?
Let me double check. Unfortunately, she's booked solid on Thursday. How does next Monday work for you?
Actually, I've got something scheduled on Monday. Can she do Tuesday?
Sure, Tuesday's perfect. May I ask where you're calling from?
Sure, Merton Financial Advisors.
Oh. Actually, Tuesday's no good. Sorry about that.
The language in this dialogue is really useful, isn't it, Marco?
Yeah, it's from an everyday situation. You always have to make appointments at some point.
Yes, and like we said earlier, it's language you can use when you need to talk about work with your boss, maybe.
Right.
Or when you need to do daily things like go to the doctor. Or even when you're planning something with your friends.
Right.
Yeah, you can use this in all those situations.
In all situations.
Uh-huh.
Great. Well, we're out of time now, but I hope you enjoyed our lesson and found it useful. And if you have any questions or comments, please go to our website at englishpod.com, where we'll be there to answer everything.
Yes, we will. So thanks for listening, guys. And until next time,
Bye.
goodbye.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
To arrange. An agreement to meet someone at a particular time.
Appointment.
Not busy. Willing to talk to someone.
Available.
Check again.
Double check.
Having no available place or time.
Booked solid.
Be okay.
Work for you.
Planned at a specific time.
Scheduled.
Not okay.
No good. Let's try that faster.
To arrange. Be okay.
Work for you.
Not okay.
No good.
Be okay.
Work for you.
To arrange. Be okay.
Work for you.
Check again.
Double check.
Be okay.
Work for you.
Check again.
Double check.
An agreement to meet someone at a particular time.
Appointment.
Check again.
Double check.
To arrange. Be okay.
Work for you.
Check again.
Double check.
Planned at a specific time.
Scheduled. Now say the word and hear it in a sentence. Appointment. Can you make an appointment for me to see the doctor? Booked solid. I can't get a hotel room. They're booked solid until after the new year. Double check. I thought that I sent that email already, but let me double check. Available. I am available at 3. Let's meet then. Work for you. I'm free at 10. Does that work for you? No good. Tuesday's no good. I have meetings all day. Appointment. Can you make an appointment for me to see the doctor? Booked solid. I can't get a hotel room. They're booked solid until after the new year. Double check. I thought that I sent that email already, but let me double check. No good. Tuesday's no good. I have meetings all day.